I came across this video where this guy was sleeping at the WNBA in the front row of an NBA game. And this guy is sleeping. This is the epic level of pranks.
He's been banned from
Yeah.
several venues and from the US Open because he was getting a haircut during the middle of a game. He's evolving his products into his videos, which I think is just insane. It's got that prank tone every time that I'm using my product also to prank you. Everything becomes under the house of pranks, right?
Can YouTube ban him? I don't think so. Because he has dedicated followers. Every video is bagging millions views.
But I will not be shocked that he's banned from everything. But after he has a bunch of these million subscribers, he'll be like, you know what? I'm leaving all of this. If you want to actually be with me, here is my platform where you can access my content. You can pay me this much per month. And it's going to be a one-on-one relationship, right? Nobody in between, no platform in between. The way he can become a post-platform creator is going to be very different. It's going to be very unique. There are some YouTubers who like controversy, who like having a brawl, who like being in the news. And then there's JiDion. Welcome to this episode of Creator Deep Dive, where we'll be speaking about the controversial, the all over the news, the spectacular prankster JiDion, also known as DeMarcus Cousins III. More on that later. But before we speak on him, I want to introduce Shubham, who is also with me. Shubham, how's it going? How are you?
Hi Shri, this is DeMarcus Cousins the fourth.
Oh wow, you're the fourth.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's no end to this because DeMarcus Cousins is also not his real name; it's just a pseudonym, and it's actually a basketball
Movement.
player.
Yeah, it's a movement now.
It's a movement. So you're the fourth person to join the movement. I don't know who the second one is here, because we know the first. The second one is probably missing. I guess I am the second one. I don't know. Very very random YouTuber that we have, but let's not forget his influence that he has. The number of subscribers, the number of people who are his diehard fans. His content is quite racy, quite controversial, quite off the edge, off kilter. But at the same time, he's managed to create a community, and also he has products. He has products that he's selling through these videos, which I think is extremely fascinating because, you're just a person who's using this community to also influence. It's not just that you're doing this randomly. You're actually driving commerce out of it. So we'll be discussing all of that in today's video of Creator Deep Dive. But Shubham, I want to ask you how you were introduced to this person, right? Because again, one of those people who you probably might not know his name, but you might know the face. How's your introduction to him?
I mean, I came across this video where this guy was sleeping at the WNBA.
Okay.
In the front row of an NBA game, and this guy is sleeping. So I mean, this is the epic level of let's say pranks. So I was hooked from that video, and I discovered him like 3 weeks ago. And interestingly, my cousins who are very young, nieces, nephews, right? They're all fans of JiDion. They all
Seriously?
know him. Yeah, they love his pranks. I couldn't even understand, some part of, the way he communicates because, he can be so random, right? He can be speaking to a grandma, he can be speaking to a policeman, but I could see like this guy is made for this. And he has made a community of very young people who love to watch him. Even Mark Cuban's kids watch him,
Correct.
right? Because I watched in one of his videos where Mark Cuban took a selfie with him because he wanted to show it to his kid. So my introduction was, like the WNBA trolling, epic trolling. What about you?
For me, actually, interestingly, I haven't watched his videos, but he's become a meme, right? That face that he has, that particular face that I'm flashing on the screen right now, that itself has become a meme, and which is like a very that typical African American that smile and that suave that he has. I think he really brings that to the table with his personality, right? He's gotten that over the top personality, and he's not just limited to himself or just a bunch of streamers, right? Of course, his relationship with streaming is quite treacherous because he's gotten permanently banned from Twitch after he was raiding a chat on Pokemon, who we already covered on Creator Deep Dive actually. So he's gotten permanently banned from there, and that's not just where he's been banned from. He's been banned from
Yeah.
several venues and from the US Open, right? Because of he was getting a haircut during the middle of a game. During last time at Wimbledon, he was blowing the air horn, and Wimbledon, as you know, is one of the most professional
Yeah.
and like uptight sports or tournaments as it were, and he was blowing the air horn there. So Gordon, clearly the controversial child, loves controversy, so loves that. But really interesting to see how he's developed his personality, and he's almost put that on overdrive, right? On YouTube, often we say that okay, it's very important to get your personality to the screen, and you have to act over the top. JiDion, well, I think he's the best example of that, and he's really turned it to the maximum, right? Like, I don't think you can get crazier than this.
Yeah.
And he's the next evolution, I think, in prank videos, which is just going bizarre, because you have Mr. Beast of the world doing the challenges, but you have the JiDions of the world doing proper pranks, and pranks which are often above the edge,
Unhinged.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
unhinged.
it begs the question, like, what is it that you value, right? Because when you're doing a prank, you're willing to lose something, right? You're willing to lose access to that place. You're willing to get attacked. Let's say, even we have seen people getting attacked, right,
Yeah.
while pulling off some things. I mean, this guy doesn't value anything. He is willing to get banned from any place. He can't go to, I don't know, thousands of Walmarts. He's not allowed. So, and Wimbledon, as you mentioned, US Open. I mean, what is the evolution of this, particular genre of pranks, right? What price are you willing to pay? You have to ask as a creator yourself. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he might be one of the first creators who might get banned from not just a country but like from Earth. Like, I think it's possible that he's like, oh, you know what, you've been extradited to, like, I don't know, Moon or to Mars, and you have to stay there because you're doing too much of. He's
Yeah,
creating a havoc in front of things, and I don't know if it's really harmless, because sometimes he can cause a bit of, like, he ebbs on the boundaries of what can
yeah,
be termed as harmful and not harmful. But that goes beyond the fact that he has so many subscribers, right? If you just look at his YouTube, right, he has let me just quickly get the exact numbers for you, right? So if you have, what he has as a number of subscribers is 7.74 million, right? But he
yeah,
doesn't stop there. He has 7.74 million subscribers, but he's not stopping there, because he has two other channels, Shubham, which I think is I don't know how that is as a strategy, because YouTube time and again has also said that you don't have to have too many YouTube channels. You can keep shorts in one YouTube channel as well. That works completely fine. But
right.
at the same time, he has two channels. One is called JiDion Premium, right? So on JiDion Premium, he does a lot of his reaction videos, a lot of his live streams, right? So if you see that he does these long live streams, and something that we've spoken about time and again on Creator Deep Dive is that live streams are a great way to build that affinity with your audience, because again, you're speaking with them live, they're getting to know you, you're probably answering
Yeah,
them a question, you're giving them a shout out. So it's a great strategy that he's doing on his second channel, which is JiDion Premium. So it's got a different sort of a feel. But that's not the end of it, Shubham, because he also has a third channel called JiDion Shorts, which has 112K subscribers. And again, he
wow,
does it's not just short form video, right? It's actually no short form video, but he just has clips of his pranks that he's doing, right? So 2 minute clips, 3 minute clips. So he's really doing short form. These are shorts, yes, but it's a different kind of strategy, right? So he's
right.
using horizontal short form clips, 2 minute videos, 3 minute videos, 1 minute videos, which essentially are a part of long form or are independently on their own as well. So clearly
Yeah,
a different strategy that we've seen. Not too many people are doing the strategy where they have a shorts channel, a premium channel. We don't have too much of that going on, and obviously the main channel, which is the behemoth, right? But what I want to speak to you about, Shubham, is his brand, right? Which I think has been extremely popular, right? And then there's this one video that really I want to talk about, which is let me get that on. Yes, so it's drinking fake beer while Uber driving strangers, right? So
I've
in
seen that
this,
one. Yeah.
yeah, so it's so crazy, right? Because his brand that's there, and it's called, I think it's called Waters, which means water in German,
Oh,
right?
that's his brand.
Yeah. That's his
Wow.
brand. That's his
Quite a
brand.
risque approach. Yeah, to
Very, very.
market it.
I think that is what I would term him, right? Like the risque approach and the guerrilla marketing to the T. and he does that, and he's doing all of this where, like, when he goes to a club and he does this, and then he actually goes to when he's driving an Uber, then he's faking to have a
Yeah.
drink with passengers, and they obviously have hilarious reactions. So again, you're seeing how he's evolving, uh, involving his products into his videos,
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
his editorial strategy, which I think is just insane. How a Mr. Beast does it with Feastables, but this is again a very different tone. So it's got that prank tone every time, that I'm using my product also to prank you, right? So
Wow.
everything becomes under the house of pranks, right? which
Yeah. Yeah.
which I
Absolutely.
think is just which is just crazy.
Amazing. Yeah. And his merchandise, right? His T-shirt which says professional raw dogger, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I saw in one video that first of all, whenever someone asks him, who is he, does he have a YouTube channel, he takes any name like, oh, I'm Mr. Beast, I am this person or that person. So I remember a little girl googled professional raw dogger, and she came to find out about him, right? So that's also amazing. His merch also has a life of its own. I
It
mean, people,
does.
I mean, he's creating a brand. Everything is involved. I mean, I didn't know that that water bottle was also a part of his brand.
Yeah.
So it's amazing way of marketing his own things, right?
Yeah, and again, a very, I don't know how many brands would want to associate, and I think that's why it makes sense for him to promote his own brands, because this approach that's there, like, if you're talking to young people, if you're getting all these racist things, if you have police involvement, usually, and we've seen this with channels, right? Like even with platforms like a Twitch, that they're extremely sensitive when it comes to all of these matters. YouTube,
Right.
they're still having him on. But the
Yeah.
question for brands remains that how long can this go on, right? Like, how can you, as a brand, do you want to be associated with someone who's very, very involved with the police, right? Who is very
Yeah.
okay with getting arrested? We've seen videos of him getting arrested multiple times. So he's okay with that. He almost has the carte blanche that, okay, I'm a creator and I'm going to use this in such a way,
Yeah.
which I don't know how that really
How is he pulling
translates
it off?
to.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
in one of his videos, he gifted, a very young kid a Tesla car. He can't
yeah,
even drive it. So, my first reaction was like, okay, he's breaking a law clearly by, giving a car to a kid.
I know.
Of course, he didn't let the kid drive, but we can all see where it's going, right? So,
Absolutely, absolutely, and one thing I want to speak about Shubham, which is his YouTube description or his YouTube
okay.
bio. It's
Hmm.
called very simply, okay, no extra flowery words here. It just says, "I like messing with strangers." Like,
Hmm.
can there be a simpler way of describing what your YouTube channel is all about? Because that's what it is. It's not just, he's not just sitting at home and, again, as I mentioned, reacting to stuff. He's actually on the streets. He's actually speaking with people. He's at these venues, and he's messing with these strangers, often to varying effects. But well, as the YouTube game goes, and this is something that we discussed last time as well for the Kaisenat video, which is about, again, gatekeeping, right?
Yeah.
There are no gatekeepers for this. There is no production crew. Sure, he might have a few cameramen, camera people, but he's on his own. He's doing this solo, and he's doing this a crazy job of doing all of this on his YouTube channel, and people are watching, people are consuming. He's selling his own brand, I guess. So that's always fun, but again, always begs the question that how much is too much. Well, Shubham, where do you think he goes from here, right? Because do you foresee a future, right? Hypothetically, this is interesting to imagine that
Yeah.
he's like 1 year down the line, he's gotten banned from YouTube, right? Or he can't
Yeah,
do
that's the
anything.
worst thing that can happen to him.
Correct. So what happens to the man? Like, where do you think JiDion? What happens to his followers, his subscribers, his fans?
Yeah, I mean, see, I have no idea because if he gets banned, let's say on YouTube, or YouTube, let's say demonetize him, right? It's just him and his, let's say, what, 8 or 10 million followers.
Yeah, yeah,
So again the question comes, the power of influence,
yeah,
right? How much can let's say his influencers make YouTube listen that we love this guy, don't ban him,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, JiDion is opening a door where, these platforms,
True.
YouTube, Instagram, they have to, start listening to the people. Like,
Mm.
if they love someone, let's say if they write a letter, 1 million of them, sign, the letter, or they storm the YouTube headquarters, I don't know, like the
My
Capitol,
God.
Hill thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure. Can YouTube ban him? I don't think so, because he has dedicated, followers. Every video is bagging, millions of millions, views. I don't know, man. I mean, can YouTube? Again, I'm asking this again. Can YouTube ban him? I don't have an answer.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, where do you, as a platform, as well, draw a line? Because it's always a double-edged sword. That sure, this person is bringing in so much of revenue, even for YouTube as a platform, right? Because you obviously have AdSense and you're splitting that with the creator. So you have all of that, but at the same time, is this the kind of example that you want to set? But you also want people to be themselves. So again, very treacherous path even for the platforms that's there, which is why, interestingly, Shubham, when you go to his description, he has mentioned very categorically his Twitter, his Instagram, his Facebook, and his Snapchat. So it almost feels like this guy is always on the precipice of getting banned from one of these
Yeah,
platforms because of his controversial opinions, and you can follow him there. So perhaps he just wants to build this community. And I will honestly not be shocked, Shubham. And he's done a deal with Rumble as well a few years ago. But I will not be shocked that he's banned from everything. But after he has a bunch of these million subscribers, he'll be like, you know what, I'm leaving all of this. If you want to actually be with me, here is my platform where you can access my content. You can pay me this much per month, or you can pay per video, and it's going to be a one-on-one relationship, right? Nobody
yeah,
in between, no platform in between. So I think the way he can become a post-platform creator is going to be
he
very
can.
different. It's going to
He
be very
can.
different. It's going to be very unique, but at the same time, he is a creator to look out for. And perhaps
Yeah,
it's always good to do a check back as well. Like 1 year later in 2024, a creator deep dive episode where we're like, oh, is JiDion still the same? Is he still uploading the same stuff? Or has he changed? So, very interesting creator. Random, yes, a prankster, but very interesting to see where he goes from here and what pranks he does next. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Creator Deep Dive. Do mention in the comments below as to what your favorite prank from JiDion is, and do you think that he can go below the belt or above the line? That's been it. Please do subscribe to Thousand Faces Club. We do this show every single week. My name is Shreevar.
my name is Shubham.
All right, we will see you. Bye bye.